How long were you your stylist for? Whoa.
God, how many years? Like 5 years, I would want to
Mhm.
say. Yeah.
And how old are you?
I was about 21,
So you just got into it a really young age.
young
Is that
age.
normal?
Yeah.
Like for someone as your young
No,
age to do
no, you
that, or
really have to like
work your way up the
work your
ladder?
way up and
Mm.
be an assistant for many years. And I just like grab life by the balls with
Mhm.
any situation and I figure it out and I'm really scrappy. And I was sleeping on couches. Like it wasn't, financially the fantasy, but I was doing major things. But at some point, like, you can't take your tear sheet of Naomi Campbell to a grocery store and feed yourself. So at
Mhm.
some point, it becomes a little like soul sucking because you're like, wow, I'm working with Cartier. I'm working with these diamonds that cost more than, my entire existence. But yet, here I go home lonely with no food on the table. Like
Mhm.
it's weird. It's a weird dichotomy. You're like constantly surrounded around wealth, but you yourself like can't even afford to feed yourself. It's so strange, but such is capitalism.
Were you creating art for yourself, or were you just designing, working for other people? Were you doing side projects then?
Yeah, I mean, at some point I started to do side projects where I started to explore my identity and dress up and I wanted to put myself in the image
Mhm.
and that was shunned against. Like I was constantly told by agents to stop wearing the clothes, stop being in the
Really? Hmm.
images. You're too loud, you're too flamboyant, tone it down. I was always told that.
Just like do your role and
Yeah,
shut
like
up.
shut up
Shut up
and
and do
like
your role.
you bring the rack of clothes and
Hmm.
shut the fuck up.
Hmm.
So that was also part of it. And then I ran into Marilyn Manson, and we all know. I don't know if you read that, but what
Yeah, yeah, I
happened?
read that.
So then I ran into Marilyn Manson, and then he pulled a gun to my head and said, "I don't like faggots," as he pulled the trigger.
Mhm.
And it was sort of a pivotal moment of me deciding that like this is not where I need to be. Like when love is no longer being served, you need to learn to get up and walk away. And
Mhm.
I did.
So that was the pivoting point right there, or near the end of
It
it.
it was near the end of it. It was near the end
Uh,
of it, and it took me a little bit to come out because there's so many feathers that you don't want to ruffle, and don't get it blacklisted in the
Backlog. Yeah.
industry, and like I was really young, and so I deal with trauma a lot differently than some people, but nonetheless, like that's how I chose to sort of leave the situation and sort of claim my truth and honesty with that situation is how I've empowered myself to tell my story and help others come forward as well and to move on from that situation.
So what was the first step into the Love Bailey transformation? To stepping away from working for
Yeah,
other people.
stepping away from working with toxic people and
Hmm.
being surrounded around assholes. I'm reclaiming my truth, reclaiming my voice, using my voice for good. At some point when I was like dressing monsters, like when you work with monsters, you eventually become one.
Yeah,
And
good
I
point.
saw myself becoming that toxic person that I no longer wanted to be. And so I like stood up and walked away and never looked back.
And then what was your first steps to like saying finding your new real
Yeah.
true self?
I had this hot transsexual woman by the name of Yasmin Petty, and she jabbed me with a needle of estrogen, and then my titty started growing. It was the best decision I ever made.
That was the first point.
Yeah, that was the first
Oh,
needle
I
prick.
mean, sometimes that's what you need,
Yeah.
right?
You need your sister to be like, shut the fuck up, you're taking it. You know?
And you were hesitant.
I was hesitant. It's medically transitioning has its own thing,
Yeah.
and the medical system hasn't evolved enough for trans people and trans patients. So it is very scary to just like blindly go into it. But, if you want something so bad, you kind of have to take that risk and to make that declaration to yourself. On
Because
Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood, well, it's a good segue because I want to talk about Hollywood Hooker.
Yeah.
Because that was your first music release.
Yeah. It
And
was really
kind of your
big.
first project, right? Was it
First
your
music project.
music
Yeah.
project?
Anyway, so my friend, I had this like art film I was making called Slather, Slather
Yeah,
It Up.
Slather. Yeah, Slather.
Yeah. And he was a musician. He produced beats and the best, like iconic, like gets you by your balls, makes you want to dance kind of beats.
Mhm.
And he had a couple of tracks that he didn't have lyrics on. And I was like, let me slather these up. Let me just like throw my little sprinkles on top. And we did. We came up with this like iconic line. He drinks me in like pink lemonade. You know what I like to do. Surrender to me, I'll surrender to you. Told you I'd get you off. What did she say? Slather it up. And that became the like anthem, and like queers from all over to like India, to Mexico, to Spain, to London, to Paris. All these queers were like performing my track as a drag anthem. And I didn't really intend it to be like a drag song. I'm not a drag queen, but I can be if you like. But like my femininity is not drag, you know, but I love it. I love seeing, that's like what gives you purpose as an artist, is to see people, you know, really identify.
Yeah, your next music release was Sheeness.
Because I also, it's a tongue in cheek, you know. I didn't like the word penis. I think it's grotesque. And I wanted to reclaim it and make it feminine. So it's like sheeness, like a lot of, even if you're a cis woman, and cis meaning you're born in the same gender, even a cis woman could like reclaim their sheeness. They're like,
I was thinking like sheeness, like, I guess penis, that makes more sense now. I was like thinking like sheeness, like goddess. Yeah, that's what I didn't relate it with penis, honestly.
Yeah. Good. You're learning.
No, I mean, that's what I was listening. I didn't think it was.
That's the vibe.
Yeah, but you told me, it was like, okay, I guess penis and sheeness.
Right. So that's the vibe. And
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like goddess, you know, female energy, femininity.
Strong female energy. Yeah. So it's like, you know, a woman who is in touch with her backbone, who's in touch with that flame.
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, strong.
All your music, what I like about it, and the producers you work with, they're all individual projects, but they're individual sounds.
Yeah.
You know, especially with this most current one you've released.
It's more jazzy.
Hornisha. That one actually sticks in your head too. Like,
okay, good.
Hornisha. You know?
Hot hornisha. It's giving the horny sensation. Spread eagle all over your fascia. Serving milk from these tits, lactatia. Hydration all across the nation. Fishy ass crustacea. You can't resist temptation. Open wide, come inside, fellatio.
That's a great project.
Thank
and
you.
You got recently, you were
accepted to Cannes Film Festival.
Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
Everyone behind that. How did that come about?
Do you want to get behind it too?
I mean, no comment.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Hot horny shot.
But that was produced by Sam J. Garfield. He's a fierce producer in LA. And the two goddesses that were on the track were Wow Ash Wow and Goddess Obiani, two fierce Black women, strong, unapologetic Black women who I had on that track. And it's a really horny anthem. It's very jazzy, burlesque. It's a reclamation of your truth, your power, your sexuality, your fire, your inner goddess, like you said.
Well, then that one is probably the most eclectic of your tracks. I mean, Sam did a great job with that track.
Sam's horny.
Because I love the jazz in that, the jazz influence.
Yeah.
The kind of like the house beat, you know?
I love jazz music. I was raised by like Nina Simone, Ella Fitzgerald, Aretha Franklin, like the legends. And I just love jazz. And I didn't feel it was right as a white woman. Well, I'm Iranian, actually. I'm half Iranian. But I didn't feel it was right to like, you know, use jazz music without giving props to the people who created it. So that's why I wanted to bring on Wow Ash Wow and Goddess Obiani, and we really like legitimize the track. It really feels like.
Did you meet them somewhere out, or how did you reach them to get them on this track?
Obiani I met through the performing circles in the burlesque world, and she performs with this amazing snake, and she does this dance with a snake, and she's an incredible dancer and vocalist. And Wow Ash Wow I met through a friend, a mutual friend. And they were like, you have to know this person. And I heard their music, and right off the bat, I was like, oh, this bitch is everything. So yeah, naturally we had to slather it up.
Were you always saying slather? Did you use that word a lot?
Yeah. So like, I'm a provocateur, right? Obviously. But a lot of words like moisture and penetration that make you feel uncomfortable or make you feel something. I love, right?
But it's comedic flair.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a tongue in cheek.
yeah.
And then like I kept saying slather with my friend Elias because we were making this film. And he was like, but what does it mean? What does it mean? Slather, what does it mean? And I was working construction for my mother in like a flannel when I was like transitioning, and I had like acrylic nails on, and my mother was so embarrassed with me like showing up to work looking like half femme. I was in my uncomfortable phase, right? I didn't look as fishy as I did. So I'm working for my mother, and there's this like gray matter that you paint on pipes to seal it in for HVAC, to keep the air in. And I'm painting this gray matter on these pipes, and she turns to me and says, don't be afraid to slather it on thick. And I was like, that's like a metaphor for life. Like, don't be afraid to like go like with your gut and your soul at whatever you want to do in life. And you can apply that to so many things. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you want to slather on?
Exactly. I mean, we could slather a lot of things today, right now.
What do you want to slather? I love getting wet.
Yeah. Are you moist?
Yeah, I'm always moist. Oh.
Already slathered.
Happy dry, yeah. You're looking a little dry though.
Yeah, I am.
Might need to slather you up.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Is that a yes or a no? It's a consensual slather. Yeah. This is...
Oh, what do you mean?
Do you want to be slathered? Yes or no?
Sure. Yes. What is slather?
Yes.
Because it could mean anything.
Yeah. Well, in this case, I'm going to dress you in a fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah, in a horny fantasy. Sponsored by Charlie by MZ. Charlie by Matthew Zink.
Okay.
He made these iconic harnesses and these horny little leopard panties. And then a custom hat that I brought, that I made myself.
All right, we can...
You down?
Introducing the Scarlet Woman, the witch. Bitch, the witch.
Nations of men will rise, but only a few will understand what's in between my thighs. SHENIS. The question is, how do you feel?
I'm slathered.
How do you feel? How does it feel to be all tight and right there?
I mean, just you have to get used to it. But
yeah.
No, it doesn't feel bad.
Are you comfortable? You good?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Okay, good. You look great.
I think not bad.
Giving Tarzan daddy. Yeah. On Valentine's Day.
Yeah, this is Valentine's Day. Yes, we are.
Are you my Valentine?
I guess so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So now what?
Yeah, where were we? Well, now I'm slathered up. So this is the...
That's it. That's the fantasy.
That's the fantasy. We're in the fantasy right now.
Yeah.
This is Love Bailey fantasy.
Yeah, welcome to the fantasy, y'all. Slather it up.
Lather it up. How would people be able to contact you, find you, reach out to you?
You're such a good host. Instagram, Love is Bailey, or Savage Ranch. On YouTube, it's Slather Studios. And just reach out. My Instagram or my website is lovebailey.com. The Savage Ranch is at www.savageranch.us. You can stream my music on all the platforms, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, everything. So
yeah, go watch Horny and everything else.
Tune in, baby. Yeah.
All right.
Is that that
As long as, if you want to say that's all, we'll just say thank you.
Yeah. Tune in later, baby.
Tune in. Thank you, Lil Bailey.
Yeah. Thank you, Z. Oh, it's really warm in this lap.
Yes.
Tasty Tuesdays! Thanking you for your time this time. Until next time, we'll see you again next week, same time, same channel.